Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim. I own several sleeping bags and quilts, but I recently was sent one by Outdoor Vitals that claims to be the new gold standard of quilts. All right, they don't really claim that, but it was just too easy of a pun to pass up. This is the Stormloft, a 0-degree quilt by Outdoor Vitals. Now, you might have seen this quilt before if you are a fan of Outdoor Vitals. However, for 2024, this is new. One of the primary things that they have done is they have added gold to their down filling. Why would they do that, you ask? Well, let's talk about it. Over the past couple of years, Outdoor Vitals has become one of my favorite brands. They are gear nerds and stat geeks, and I just really appreciate their attention to detail and the fact that their products are designed by real hikers. Now, for some time, they've had a top quilt called the Stormloft. However, for 2024, it has been updated with Exped Dry Gold treated down. This is an 800 fill power down with a gold treatment that they say performs better than a DWR treated down in almost any scenario. Now, before we get into that, let's just talk about the basic stats. The Stormloft comes in 0, 15, 30, and 40-degree varieties, ranging from $295 to $375. Outdoor Vitals was kind enough to send me the upgraded 0-degree quilt. Now, the 0-degree long quilt is going to be the heaviest quilt that they make, and it comes up just shy of 2 pounds. The 40 medium, which would be their lightest quilt, comes in at 17.5 ounces. The 0-degree long has a 76-inch length, but it also comes in a 71-inch medium. Its maximum width is 56 inches. It is wider in key locations, shaped to match body contours, and also allows you to sleep on your stomach and kick a knee up if you need to, like I do. With quilts, the biggest challenge is typically getting a draft in when the quilt lifts up, and so this extra width is appreciated, as are the 2 included pad straps. These simply clip in, are easily adjusted to fit around your sleep pad, and allow the quilt to perform more like an enclosed sleeping bag without the extra weight and zippers. The quilt itself is made from a 10 denier DWR and PFC-free treated ripstop nylon fabric. Combined with the Exped Dry Gold treated down, the quilt is quite light, very compressible, and, they claim, incredibly quick drying. How is this the case, you ask? Well, the Exped Dry Gold is a treatment that is said to speed up the down's drying process, so that even if your quilt gets wet through condensation or sweat or even rain, the Exped Dry Gold treatment will dry quite quickly. I know this sounds rather weird, but the way it is explained is that this fused gold technology actually attacks the hydrogen bond of a water molecule, preventing the formation of water droplets and allowing for more rapid evaporation. Like a wet dog shaking off, the water does not have a chance to sit and soak into the down. You don't have nearly as much of a waiting time for it to dry out. Allied Feather says that Exped Dry works through a permanent and chemical-free bonding of non-toxic gold particles to the down cluster, which actively attacks humidity inside the insulation and keeps the entire chamber dry in extreme conditions. Now, the difficulty of testing this claim is that you would have to have 2 of the exact same quilts in exactly the same conditions, probably over numerous days, in order to see how moisture affects the loft. The best I could do is spray my quilt down with more water than I have ever gotten on a quilt or sleeping bag in my entire backpacking career, stuff it into its storage sack, and simply leave it sitting in my house for 24 hours. It was not warmed, nor was any air allowed to help out in the process of drying. I then threw this in the trunk of my car and drove up and spent a night in the mountains to see how it would do. I brought along an extra just in case it didn't work, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that when I pulled the quilt out of the bag, there was not even a hint of moisture. The quilt felt completely dry to the touch and lofted up sufficiently to give me a comfortable night even with a nice draft coming through my open rain fly. I had no moisture troubles with the quilt whatsoever. Now, in addition to this gold treatment, the Stormloft quilt features a new differential cut, which is said to prevent some of the down compression against the inner fabric. Further, the boxed baffle draft collar can seal in body heat as you cinch it up around your shoulders. The cord is centered and easy to find. However, cinch cord keepers are also present to prevent the cinch cord from dangling down into your face. Finally, a fully baffled sewn footbox is anatomically shaped to match the natural splay of your feet. I actually found the footbox to be a bit more constrictive than I would have liked, and because it is sewn shut, there is really no way to adjust that. Otherwise, however, I found the quilt to be quite comfortable, even though the low for that night was only about 60 degrees. Now, I left the quilt pretty open. I left my rain fly open so that there was actually a breeze coming through the tent. I figured a 0-degree bag was going to be excessive in those kinds of conditions, especially because I'm a fairly hot sleeper. Unfortunately, with the current heat wave, I am not going to be able to push the bag's temperature rating until later in the winter. Check the description below for any updates. So if you are in the market for a new quilt and you are concerned about condensation, humidity, sweat, or anything else that can get your quilt wet and reduce its loft, you might want to check out the Outdoor Vitals Stormloft for 2024. If this video has been informative or even just entertaining, would you mind giving it a like and subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you are into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Till next time, I'm Doug. Thanks for watching.